proper claggy this morning. Oh, I don't know if you can see the sun's just peeping over the clouds there. It's about 7:05. Oh, and it's bitterly cold's not the right word for it, but it's pretty parky out here. Pretty cold. Well, the sun's coming up, and this mist is going to start to dissipate a bit. Get the tent wiped down and packed away, and get walking. Hopefully, find somewhere a bit further along the track that's a little bit sheltered. Maybe walk for half an hour or an hour or so, and then about 8:30, get something warm and something. All right. Okay. Yeah. I'll see you in a bit. Done. Let me show you my home from where I am. I just dip roll and go. Coffee waiting. So, from that little crossroads with the way marker stone, it's heading downhill from there. And now the wind, we've got a little bit of shelter from the wind. It's still whistling it down with rain, but the view coming down into the valley is pretty spectacular. Well, heading back into civilization. I've got to say, coming down that hill wasn't fun. The last bit into town was just slick with mud and like little bits of wet grass. It was like being on an ice rink, especially with these old trail runners that have got no lugs on them left at all. Definitely went over a couple of times and managed to, I don't know if you can see, bent one of my poles, not badly, so it should be fine. It'd be fine for the rest of this trip, definitely. But I think it'd be good. Maybe see if I can get a replacement just for that middle piece of it. Shouldn't be much more than about a tenner. Yeah. I'm hoping now there's a bit more tree cover around. I might be able to find somewhere to sit down with a bit of shelter just before I get into town, so I can make a bit of food. First, this is a bit slippy as well. Make a bit of food as well. Then maybe in town I can get a coffee and a piece of cake or something. So I found this little craft centre just on the edge of, just into hay. There is a cafe on the other side of it, but rather than going there and spend a fortune on food, I'm just going to take advantage of this bench here. I got half a packet of rice that's open from yesterday, so I'm going to make up that with some chilli. And then once I've had that, I'm going to go and hit the cafe. Hot chocolate and cake for me, but check this venue out. This is amazing. This is the bean box. They've got a garden outside, but obviously it's wet and all the chairs are away. And then I've got this little bookshop here, which is outstanding. Anyway, I'm going to have some cake. Just coming out of hay now, just on the other side of the river. There's this lovely little kind of glamping / posh camper. Yeah, this is kind of awesome. And apparently there are a couple of places you can pitch your tent here as well. I'm not sure what they charge for that though. Anyway, I'm going to try and get another hour, and then start looking for somewhere to pitch. Probably a slightly short day against there, though longer than the last couple at least. The weather is oh, there you go. Let's get those huts in the background so you can get a proper look at them, and then you can see the river in the background there. Hopefully. Still have no idea where I'm pointing this thing. Before I left the glamping place, I met one of the I don't know if it's the owner or some chap who worked there, and he was saying that about half an hour down the trail there should be some woods that that might not be bad to camp in, which I think might be these here. So I'm hoping that like a little bit further around there'll be some bits that are flatter, because that's on a real slope up there. There's going to be nothing in there. And then if not, if I have to go past these woodlands, then it looks like it's up onto the ridge again, which is probably not going to be that fun in these weather conditions. Not another night like last night, that's for sure. But we'll see how it goes. If I find something in the next half hour to an hour in these woods, even though it's really early still, then I'll probably just stop for the day. But yeah, we'll see. Well, there's definitely some nice woodland up here, but none of it's on a level. It's basically all of anything that's remotely level is fields, look like it's for cattle mainly, and all of the forested bits, all of the bits with trees on, are all the slopes leading up and down. See, there's absolutely, other than the trail, there's nothing. It's nice though, hey? So, it's nice around here. So there's that. And yeah, maybe I'll end up having to camp up on near the top then. It's not as high as where I was last night though. Also the ground's, for obvious reasons, the ground's much drier up here. Down in the valley, down by near the river, it was getting pretty precarious and really muddy again. If anything, worse than when I was heading into Hay, although it was level, so in some ways not as bad. But yeah, up here, it's wet, but it's not like muddy and slippery wet. It's just, raining for a couple of days wet. Onwards. Anyway, here will do, but I'm actually looking at this. If I can find a flat bit here where it's just below the dip of the hill, that's honestly not really providing much protection from the wind whatsoever, but it's got to be better. Let's just see what's over the crest of the next hill. This is fun. This is fun. I keep saying that. So, just over the crest of the hill, it doesn't look like there's anything coming up on this hill. This side of the hill is way more slow, so I'm not going to find a picture there. The gate's all busted into that field, so I should just be able to get just to the side of that hedge and basically get a bit of shelter, and if I can find a little flat bit there. So let's do that. Okay, I think that's home for the night. From where I showed you before, not this first one, that's the gate that had collapsed. Can I do it this way without messing up the focus? That's the gate that collapsed. Yeah, okay, it's not going to focus. So I had to walk one field back. That field was just on a bad angle again. So I had to come one field back. I tell you, as soon as I got behind the hedgerow, as soon as I'm behind the right side of this and the wind's on the other side, it makes such a difference. And I just kind of cleared a little bit of land here. So let's get the tent up. Like I said before, the problem is everything's wet, and I'm pretty sure nothing's going to dry overnight. So this is going to be tonight will be fine. Tomorrow morning, putting all wet stuff on is going to be really unpleasant. But I think most of tomorrow is going to be dry. So hopefully, at the very least, I'll get the chance to put the tent up and air it out and dry it out, and maybe find some way of getting some dryness into the rest of my like the stuff that I'm wearing that's wet. At least the stuff in my bag should be all dry, so that's and hey, it's finally stopped raining as well. It stopped raining like 10 minutes ago. It started raining at 9:30 this morning. It's rained all day non-stop until about 10 minutes ago. So yeah, you can see there's like some nice ping in there. If I could see the sunset, it's probably quite a nice one, but I'll take shelter over views rain. Right, not quite the outstanding pitch that I had last night, but it's up. Once I get inside and shut that door, it'll do. Hopefully I won't need to leave it again for the rest of the night. Okay. So the question now is how to manage the wet stuff and the only damp stuff, because there's nothing dry. Well, apart from actually the sleeping clothes that I put on, although they're probably going to be damp by the morning as well. I've used industrial quantities of talc to try and dry off. I've had a cloth I've been able to wipe down my feet and stuff with, and then yeah, just use loads and loads of talc to try and take it from damp to not damp. Yeah. So he said, how am I going to manage this? And am I going to bother trying to fire up the stove to make something hot? I had a couple of cereal bars that I picked up in hay that I ate on the way up here, which was super helpful. And I've got a massive bag of salted peanuts that I also picked up in hay, and some fruit and veg at the back if I'm feeling healthy. But it might just be a peanuts night tonight because it's like lots of calories. Morning. Oh, it's absolutely dripping wet in here with condensation from last night. Fortunately, it was quite a mild night because all my walking clothes were all wet, so there was no way I could wear them inside my sleeping bag because it's just going to get wet inside. So I just had my leggings and socks and this thin top that I wore to sleep in, which was enough. I did have the mat up. I've just let it down already. About a dozen bugs on each side of the tent and the vestibules, so gotta make sure to flick them away before I open either side up. And it didn't rain all night. That's just from mist and fog on the outside and condensation on the inside. Talc everywhere. Anyway, it's a little bit late. The sun's been up about 20 minutes. Oh wow, look at all them there, all trying to get in. So I just need to go around and make sure I flick them all away before the door gets opened. Oh, they're fucking they're everywhere. Anyway, I don't know what they are. Anyway, I'm going to force myself to get moving, otherwise lie in bed. That's why I let the mat down straight away, because that makes it much easier to, gives you an incentive to get up and get moving. Otherwise it's too easy to just kind of stay in a warm sleeping bag for like an hour or two, and then you don't get going till late. But at this rate, it's like I say, it's about 7:30 now. Yeah, so I'm going to get this book now and I'm going to give the tent a wipe down so it's going away damp. But I think the forecast for today is there might be some scattered showers this morning, but from about midday onwards. So I should hit Kington about probably just after midday, probably be like 1:30. But then from midday onwards, it's supposed to be dry all afternoon, cloudy still, but with a bit of sun coming through, and about 16 degrees, which should be plenty warm enough for me to stop for an hour, probably just the other side of Kington, put the tent up and let it all dry out, and maybe I can find, if anything is, well, whatever's still wet, because some things will be, I'll try and find somewhere to put those out. Okay, right, all cleaned up, and now the sun's up, if you can see that. It's starting to get a little bit of warmth into the air. It's still cold though. Right, I'm heading off in that direction, so let's make a move. Oh, it's nice to have some visibility again, and it's with the sun out, it's actually, it just makes such a difference to yesterday when it was raining non-stop all day. Yeah, beautiful. Let's get a bit more walking in, and then if I find somewhere convenient to stop, I'm going to stop and make coffee and breakfast. If not, then let's just give another half hour, 45 minutes, and then just stop wherever, even if it just means sitting on a bit of ground. I've got my mat to stay off the wet, so it'll be okay. Time on the map, 9:40, and it's saying looks like it's about 2.5 hours into Kington. But if I find somewhere soon to stop for coffee and breakfast, and that takes say half an hour, let's call it 3 hours into Kington. So yeah, so I should get there a little bit ahead of where I was thinking. I did say 1 o'clock, and probably be there between 12:30 and 12:45 if that was had trekking poles for that. I spoke to a couple of people out walking, I forget the name of it, I'll put it on screen. The town that people try and get to just after Kington. They said if I'm hitting Kington about 1, should be no problem to make it. And then camping there, you can either pitch just before there or just after there. There's a golf course like on the slopes on the way up to the ridge, and then you're up on top of the ridge straight after that. So I think if I'm feeling full of beans at that point, then I'm going to try and press on and get up onto the ridge line again, because if it's going to be another dry night, that was pretty spectacular. I think it's going to be like this all the way to Kington now, which is about an hour. These were firs or something, but they're not. They don't look like native trees. Anyway. Centre for walking apparently, although we missed that festival just by about a week or so. I had no idea. Check out the tea rooms maybe. Looking at those clouds up there, I'm just aware that I've not had my tent out to dry off and air out yet. I did say the plan was to breeze through Kington and be on my way there from about 2 o'clock, thinking we'd just be in and out in half an hour. Jumped on, but I ended up spending about 2.5 hours there. It was just gone 4 o'clock when I left, which means I've only got a couple hours. So basically, as soon as I get up to the top of here, or just past the golf course at the top of here, I need to start looking for somewhere where I can just let the tent air out and certainly dry inside before any of that rain hits us, which is not forecast until kind of the early hours of the morning. I think it's meant to start raining. Yeah, it's going to start raining probably an hour or two before I get up in the morning anyway, so I'm not so worried about the outside being dry, like the vestibule doors being dry, because everything's going to be wet when I get up anyway. Right, I'm going to put this away and start using both my poles again to get up this hill. This is hard work. That's the golf club then, and the path runs right through it, and also the sheep. What are the rules in golf if your ball hits a sheep? Right, status update. It's a little bit earlier than planned. As you can see, the tent is kind of up. It's the end of the golf course you can see just behind me here. And I'm spinning around, there's a little bit of woods here, and there's some flat areas. Around here is where I was thinking about pitching the tent mid-afternoon to air it out. So that's kind of what's happening now, but later than planned. And I think I'm actually going to stay today. It's such a pain in the ass to get up. It's so windy here, and I'm spinning around this side of it. It is. There's my little windsock. That's just the bag from the tent, just drying out. So that's double pegged. That's double pegged. That's not. That's not. The side ones aren't, but these two are double pegged. This is double pegged. And I've got one peg left, which might go either there or there. I'm going to see. I'm going to leave it a bit, and if any of them feel like they're or this one possibly, this is the door that I'm going to be opening. I'm going to fully fasten down the other one with both elastic bits. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. So it's going to be fun. Hopefully I'm going to be able to get a stove running behind one of those trees, maybe behind the tree in the back, maybe behind the tree in the back where it is now. Yeah, so we'll see. going off today. It took me 2.5 hours. I bought myself a new pair of boots as an early birthday present because the ones I had, the trail runners, were on their last legs before I did the North Downs Way, so that was over 200 miles ago. And the only reason I didn't replace them when I went through London before is because I couldn't find anything in the right size. No. So we'll see. We'll see how this holds up with the ground. Roll today in my dry stone tenting course. I think around this side is fine. Like I said, I'll find an extra peg to double up on one of them if necessary. This is where I stopped recording for the day. Okay, let's go over the maps. Day 4 started up on the ridge line in the Black Mountains. The morning spent walking down into Hay on Wye. Leaving Hay, I followed the river along through that glamping place and stopping to pitch up, well, I think it was just before Newchurch. Day 5, I carried on north through Gladder Street along Hergus Ridge and down into Kington, where I spent a few hours getting coffee and buying some new boots. As a result, I cut the day short and pitched up by the trees just north of Quarry House, just past the golf course. I'm going to call it a day there, and I'll see you all in the next video.